on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to...
Hey, I have to stop you right there.
Okay.
I have to stop you right there.
Okay.
Real talk
This is off script, ladies and gentlemen.
Real talk.
I don't know what's going on.
All right, so...
Are you pregnant? What's going on?
I'm officially retiring from podcasting. I will no longer will do podcasts.
A whole 3 episodes?
A whole 3 episodes. And just kidding. I'm like Tom Brady. I'm coming back always. Every year. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I could be 50 years old. Still going to be doing this.
I'm pretty sure. What is he? 49?
I mean,
47?
He's up there. He's
Yeah.
I think he's 7 years older than LeBron. And LeBron's 37, so he'd be 44.
44, 45. He'll be the oldest starting quarterback in NFL history, that's for sure.
I mean, did you see that thing he had on his Instagram where him and Cristiano Ronaldo were talking? And then Cristiano Ronaldo asked him, he was like, hey, you coming back? And you just saw his face was like, yeah, maybe not. And of course, he couldn't, come out with the story yesterday because the Glazer family wanted him to wait. But he's back in the NFL for his 23rd season. He's back with the Bucks, which, I thought he might try to engineer a trade to the 49ers, which is his home team. He grew up as a 49ers fan. He was born there.
He would be the difference. He'd be the difference in the 49ers being Super Bowl champions.
100%. The 49ers are about to start Trey Lance. Okay, the Kyle Shanahan's smoking crack if he thinks that he's going to do anything. But Brady's back. I'm so happy he's back because I really wanted to see him have a farewell tour. But I'm telling you better not pull some Brett Favre shit where he just retires. Oh, I am coming back. Retires. Actually, next year is my last year. Oh, wait, one more time. And it's just come on, just make it, one last time, all right? So you unretired, all right. If you're gonna retire again, Brady, don't be like, hey, I'm retiring, then come back this within 2 months.
Well, here's the deal. The people kind of pushed him into retirement is how I feel. The way I feel this is different than Brett Favre is it felt like everybody was saying Tom's done, Tom's done, Tom's done. And then someone close to Tom Brady's camp said that he was retiring, and then the news kind of leaked out from there. So the first retirement never really came from Tom Brady's mouth. It was a leaked source. So I would have waited and made it a little bit more dramatic if we're gonna come back. Wait till June, just show back up right before the NFL season starts and be like, yo, what's up, everybody? I'm here for training, and we're gonna go rock this. I would have appreciated that more.
Him announcing it yesterday was an important time.
Why?
Because as of today, free agents can start getting signed and can start signing their dot as for their new team. And Tom Brady wants to have all his pieces back. They just signed Ryan Jensen yesterday to a 4-year deal. So he's got his
Marpett's still a free agent.
Still
They've got a
free
bunch
agent.
of
Leonard
defensive
Fournette's
pieces.
still a free agent.
Yeah.
They franchise tagged Chris Godwin. So him doing that allows them to...
Gronk's a free agent.
So I think him doing that yesterday was just letting the Bucks get their ducks in order, so that way when he comes back next year, he'll have pretty much essentially the same team he's had for the last 2 years.
I mean, that makes sense. The biggest thing that they have to go after, in my personal opinion, is they need another offensive weapon. He needs somebody. I mean, Antonio Brown, when he went out, took a massive hit. Now, getting Chris Godwin back will definitely help, but this is where I think somebody like maybe an OBJ, someone who's just a gadget guy, who he needs someone who's an intermediate route runner would be a nice little piece for him.
Well, I got a piece right here for you.
All right, who?
He just hit the free agent market.
Who?
Mr. Jarvis
Landry. That's a good one. Yeah.
Jarvis Landry, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin with Tom Brady. Ooh! Talk about Super Bowl champs right there.
Well, they need to re-sign. I think Leonard Fournette's a more important piece than people are talking about.
You still got Rojo. Rojo's good. He's not bad.
Yeah, but here's the deal. When they won the Super Bowl, Leonard Fournette was the horse that took them there.
Yeah, Leonard Fournette's important, but they'll have enough money to get him.
So as long as Leonard Fournette comes back, now that Tom Brady's announced he's back, they're going to be in contention. It's just like if you put LeBron James on any team. I mean, maybe not this Lakers team, but
how about him scoring 50 points? In a 7-day span.
Yeah, 56 and then 50?
Yeah, dude's the GOAT. All right, all you Michael Jordan fans, yeah, you're wrong. LeBron is the GOAT, and y'all can miss me with all that crap.
I mean, I'm sure we'll get into a GOAT debate here. I mean, at some point on this podcast, because that's something I'm very passionate about. That LeBron James is the greatest of all time. But I mean, let's stick with Tom Brady here because I really want to get into. We're going to get into college basketball. We're going to go through our entire brackets, announce our winners, and all that fun stuff. And if you'd like to play along with us, if you want to show us your bracket and have it posted up on Instagram, it is TLR Podcast 615. That is TLR Podcast 615 for all of our social media. You can stay up to date with everything we've got going on. And also, post your bracket. We will share it to our page. You can put your name on it. It'll be a lot of fun. So that needs to be put in by tomorrow at noon. Today is Monday. The podcast is going to be coming out early Tuesday morning and or Monday night, depending how late you stay up. So by today, when this podcast is out, because this will be Tuesday, it's got to be done by today because games start today. Okay?
Yeah, come on, people.
Let's see what we're going to go with that. But yeah, a couple more things on Tom Brady. I like the fact that he's going back to Tampa. But I'm with you, though. I would have gone, I mean, if I'm coming back out of retirement, now I don't know if Tampa Bay had his rights still under them, and that they would have had to have traded his rights.
No, they did. He would have had to ask for a trade, and I mean, there's already been reports that he already tried to go to Miami with Sean Payton before this, like right after the season, and when Sean Payton, stepped away from the Saints. Him and Tom Brady were already talking about trying to get down to the Miami Dolphins to be.
That would be a duo.
And so when that didn't happen, of course, his next love was San Francisco, and the Bucks already said, the Glazers family already said, like, we're not giving you away for just chunk change. We want like significant compensation for you, and I just don't think any team was willing to give him what they wanted. So he was like. He still wants to play. He still wanted to come back, so he's like, "Screw it, let's go Bucks. Let's run it back. We got unfinished business."
And
boys.
It's not like the Bucks won't be contenders, like you said.
No, they'll be good.
As long as the Bucks sign the few pieces that they need to sign, and they can reshape that offensive line, that's most important. We all know that, regardless, Tom Brady can throw to anybody as long as he's protected.
I was about to say, when you got the GOAT on your team, it doesn't really matter. Like that much of who you got on your team.
It's more so, can he be protected?
Yeah, you gotta protect. You gotta protect his ass. But other than that, you're good, man. Like he's the GOAT. Like he can get the ball to any receiver, right? But he also has to want to trust those receivers too. And then with Mike Evans there. Chris Godwin
coming back off of injury is a big help because that opens up and frees up Mike Evans. We've seen Mike Evans when he's being taken on by the number one guys, he's less effective.
And hell, if Chris Godwin was there, I think they might have beaten the Rams.
I think they could have too. And I know people are saying, well, the Rams were schwacking them by so much, but it's like it's still Tom Brady. You give Tom Brady weapons that he can actually throw to that will do something via a Wes Welker. I mean, Tom Brady can get anything done. Look at the Atlanta Falcons.
They might have scored several times before that, and it would have been a game the whole game.
Yeah, if Antonio Brown literally didn't remove his clothes and leave a stadium,
if he wasn't doing jumping jacks in the end zone, we would have
shirtless.
It would have been better, in the playoff game. I think they would have. I think
Antonio Brown makes them dangerous, and
that's all it is. Tom Brady needs weapons. You can't just let him go to throw to Laquan Treadwell, who's no longer in the league anymore. Like, come on, like you can't. Give him something.
Yeah, but if Tom Brady had to come back, I think the Bucks was the best scenario where because like you said, they would have had to have traded him somewhere, and if they trade him somewhere. There's no guarantee that Tom Brady is going to be able to go to a place that can still contend.
Bro, that's why I can't stand Aaron Rodgers, because this man had Devontae Adams every single year, and this dude complains that he has nobody on his team. Devontae Adams is one of the top 5 best. I think he
might be the best.
Some people have him as the best. I don't have him as the best, but he's at least in the top 3. Or top 5 at least for best receivers in the league.
I think this year he took over the best.
And
right there with
Aaron
Cooper.
Jones, who's a great running back. Like, man, and he's always had a great offensive line.
And a good defense. And that's what people understand.
Such a crybaby, man.
And a good defense.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is a little crybaby, just like Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons just sitting on the bench for the Brooklyn Nets, they don't even know when that guy's gonna play. Like. these guys are just drama kings, man, and it just pisses me off.
Well, here's the deal. So, Tom Brady's coming back. I'm glad that Tom's back. Justin's clearly very glad that Tom's back.
Yes, thank God.
So, we wanted to open up the podcast saying, welcome back, Tom Brady. Welcome everybody else back to the
Welcome
Locker Room
back,
Podcast.
sir.
But this podcast, we really want to focus on March Madness and the NCAA tournament. For some of you, this is the greatest time of the year. And then for some of you, like our father, who does not like sports, why? Nobody really knows. He's sick in the head, okay? March Madness is the worst time of the year because it's nothing but sports 24/7 for the next month. But I'm pumped. We're in two brackets together, or two tournament challenges together, and we're gonna go through the entire bracket, kind of give you the need to knows, kind of give you our thoughts and hints on some of the teams. So if you are interested and taking some of our advice, we're getting ready to offer it. And then at the very end, we're going to give you our winners for this year's college basketball championship.
And I'm just going to go out on a limb. Best college tournament is going to be this year. This is going to be the best tournament ever.
This is no joke. There are probably 14 to 15 teams that I truly believe can go get a championship.
Yeah.
If they gel the right way. Now that's the thing is, like, there are teams that have guys that can go get buckets, which we all know is what the NCAA tournament's about. It's not necessarily about team basketball in the NCAA tournament. It's about guys that go get you buckets. I mean, how many times has Nevada or Loyola of Chicago or Lehigh or these other...
What about Murray State with John Morant?
Murray State. Yeah, look at, like, Davidson's got that point guard this year. Like, there are some teams that can be carried far this year, but there are probably 14 to 15 teams that could, if they gel the right way, snap and win a championship this year. This is going to be, like, the most fun, I think, bracket, and probably the hardest bracket we've ever done, but the most fun tournament and bracket to do and or watch this year.
Yeah, but like you said, it's all about getting buckets. And just like when John Morant was with Murray State, there's only one reason Murray State even won a game. There's only one reason, and that reason was John Morant. All right? Let's be honest. There's a main reason why Duke went so far in their tournament, Zion Williamson. Like, you need those type of players.
Davidson, Steph Curry.
Yeah, like you need those players to.
This is where the players show out.
Yeah, this is where you rise up in the NBA rankings, or you in the draft, or you don't, or you go down.
And that's why I think this is the hardest tournament to judge, because there are so many teams that have guys.
Yeah.
Auburn, Wisconsin, Duke, Kansas,
Purdue.
Oh goodness, I'm a big Purdue. We'll
they
talk
got
about
the
Purdue.
Twin Towers, baby.
We'll talk about Purdue here in a second. Purdue, Baylor. I mean, Arizona, UCLA. There are guys this year, man. This is going to be one of the hardest NBA draft classes in the next 2 years, too, because there's just some guys here. So let's go. We're going to start at the beginning, and we're literally going to start with each individual game, kind of give quick thoughts, and go through our entire tournament, okay? So starting at the top, Gonzaga versus Georgia State. I think there's no question here. We both have Gonzaga absolutely dominating.
Georgia State!
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking.
We both have Gonzaga dominating this game. Chet Holmgren, I think, is going to show up and show out, and he is the NBA lottery pick this year.
I think he has a chance to be. I don't know if he's going to be the number one pick. He's pretty scrawny, man. That dude needs to put on some weight.
In the words of Charles Barkley, when they said this exact same thing about Kevin Durant, how heavy do you think a basketball is?
Well, I mean, it helps when you're 7 feet tall. You can shoot the ball like
Chet Holmgren can straight up shoot. He can ball handle.
I like to see him go against LeBron in the post. He ain't even getting.
Oh, okay,
he's not even getting past the free throw line, homie.
Okay, and that's also LeBron James. We're talking about
the
greatest or the second greatest of all time.
You're gonna have to go against those guys at his position. He's probably going to be playing the power forward, I would say, or maybe small forward position.
Yeah, but as soon as he gets in it's going to be the same kind of evolution as Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant became a much better shooter, became a much better ball handler.
Kevin Durant was already a better player than Chet Holmgren was in college. Now,
I agree with that. I don't know why we're arguing about Chet Holmgren right now.
I don't know how. I'm
just saying that Chet Holmgren is going to rise up, and I believe he's going to rise up in this tournament, and he's going to be a driving factor for Gonzaga's success. So right out the gate, we've got Gonzaga over Georgia State. Boise State versus Memphis. I've got Memphis over Boise State here, but this is no sleeper game. Memphis struggles with big guys. Boise State's got some big guys. But nonetheless, I'm going with Memphis here. I believe their guard play is what inevitably is going to take this game.
Yeah, I've got Memphis too. I think they're a more explosive team and a faster team. than Boise State, and so I think that will ultimately get them past the first round.
Speed usually always beats size. All right, let's go to Uconn versus New Mexico State. The first time that Uconn's kind of been relevant, it feels like, since Kemba Walker. I'm going to go Uconn, not necessarily just because they're ranked higher, but Uconn's played well all year, and I'm not going to put it past them to go out there and win a tournament game. This is where they belong. Man.
Yeah, Uconn's good this year, and I'm going with Uconn too, because they are a very, very good team this year. And so I think they might actually go pretty far this year.
It would be nice to see Uconn go far because I've missed them in the NCAA tournament. Next up, we've got...
it's good to have them back.
Arkansas versus Vermont. I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer, right?
I'm taking Vermont! No, I'm not, folks. I'm definitely taking Arkansas.
I mean, I've got some upsets the further we get into this. I promise you that are going to shock some people, but I'm here for it. All right, let's move down to Alabama versus Rutgers and or Notre Dame. This is where my first upset comes into play. I believe Notre Dame gets the job done, and I believe Notre Dame gets the first-round upset against Alabama. We've seen Alabama collapse late in second halves. Notre Dame's always a hard team to play, especially come tournament time. And while I think Alabama's a much better team, especially with that young freshman guard with his insane hair, I think Notre Dame's just one of those teams that you never want to see in a first-round NCAA tournament game. And I've got Notre Dame taking this game.
Well, folks, I just have to point out, I think my co-host is smoking crack cocaine, because there's no way in hell Notre Dame is beating Alabama, okay? There's no way in hell. Alabama is going to destroy either Rutgers or Notre Dame, and Alabama's coming out of there.
Okay, well, I'm saying, listen, the NCAA tournament, that's why there's never a perfect bracket, because the teams that you think will destroy usually end up not destroying. Just saying.
I mean, you're right.
Moving down, we've got Texas Tech versus Montana State. This is a Texas Tech easy first-round bye, basically. I love Texas Tech this year. I've got them going very far.
Yeah, I like them in the first round, but that's about it.
Goodness gracious. Our brackets are going to be very different. Michigan versus Davidson. This is where I get another big upset here. I've got little Davidson knocking down the giant of Michigan State. I don't like Michigan State this year like everybody else. Tom Izzo's teams tend to very underwhelmingly and underperform in big moments. Davidson's got that nice little point guard who I think is going to give Michigan State a bunch of hell this year in the tournament. This is my first big upset. Davidson takes down Michigan State.
Well, I like Michigan State for one game, and that's this game. All right, I got them beating Davidson pretty handily. I think it'll be a double-digit win for them. So,
man, you don't think there's any chance that Davidson or any of these smaller teams make noise?
Sorry, Davidson. Steph Curry ain't coming through that door. All right, you're just gonna have to do it on your own.
And here's the deal, folks. This is why I said it's the NCAA tournament. There's a reason that there's never a perfect bracket because you got to take some chances here. If you're doing brackets at home, you've got to take chances and just go out on a limb and try and get an upset out of here. Because if you try and go with all the safe routes, you're always going to be disappointed.
That's true.
So this is where, like I said, I tried to work in a few upsets here and there that I think could possibly happen. But this next one, there's absolutely going to be no upset. Duke is going to absolutely demolish CSU Fullerton. I'm sure you have Duke going all the way to the championship, which
I bleed blue, baby. I bleed blue.
Oh, well. Duke's not going to make it too far in my bracket, just so you know.
Man,
but Duke should single-handedly take down this game pretty easily.
Duke's winning the whole thing.
I told you I didn't want to know who's winning your whole tournament.
All right, but let's just point that out. Duke is the best team in the tournament. It's not even close.
All right, well.
All right.
Speaking of crack cocaine, folks, apparently he found my stash.
Man, Mike Krzyzewski ain't losing. You kidding me? His last year? Please.
Well, if that was the case, they should have won the ACC tournament.
They were just saving up. They were saving up their energy.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
That's what it is, folks. They were doing that.
And then now, number 1 ranked Baylor is going to dominate Norfolk State. Oh, my goodness, if I could speak properly.
Man, he has steak on the mind, folks.
Listen, Baylor. You know what's funny is Baylor just won the championship not too long ago, and everybody basically forgot that Baylor's a good team.
They're good, but they've gotten so many injuries.
Well, that's the thing is but they've kind of fell off the radar. Even though they are a number 1 ranked seed, I think Baylor's wildly underrated. But I'm also not putting it past Baylor to lose in the first or second round. Now I have Baylor winning here, but they are a team that either is the highest of highs or the lowest of lows.
Yeah, they're my probably going to be most disappointing team. In the whole tournament.
I would think so.
But I do have them beating Norfolk State because Well, folks, come on. Let's not act like, oh, every college is the same. We're all equal. No, they're way better than Norfolk State, so they're gonna beat them.
All right, next up we got North Carolina versus Marquette. This is another upset I have. Not a massive upset, but I have Marquette over North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Although North Carolina is big and they've got big guards and big wings, I just don't believe in North Carolina like I have in these past years. Even though, like, North Carolina in big moments this year, besides the last Duke game, has wildly underperformed. They wildly underperformed in the ACC tournament. Marquette's always solid. Marquette's one of those names, Marquette, St. John's, teams like that are teams that you never want to see in a tournament, especially in a first round, right? And I think Marquette's that team this year. Marquette is going to take down North Carolina.
I mean, all right. We have to get this man something, because he needs a new television. Marquette sucks.
Oh my God.
North Carolina wins big over Marquette. That's my pick.
Do you just think everybody sucks?
Well, I mean, if your name's not Duke, yeah, you pretty much suck.
Marquette's
JK, guys. JK. I know there's other good teams, but on the real, though, North Carolina is way better than Marquette. So I'm going to go North Carolina over Marquette in this game.
All right, well, no upsets so far on Justin's bracket. There's several on mine. And let's move on to another one of Jacob's upsets. St. Mary's gets upset by Indiana University. Indiana is going to take down Wyoming to open up. Mark my words, Indiana is a very underrated team. Indiana has played great, especially as of late. They had a very hard-fought tournament this past week. I've got Indiana not only taking down St. Mary's, but I got Indiana moving on and giving UCLA all kinds of hell.
All right, folks. I thought we were done with the craziness, and we are, because I totally agree with him. Indiana wins their playing tournament, and then I just think St. Mary's is no match for Indiana. Indiana played really well in the Big Ten tournament.
They did.
So I'm going to go Indiana upsets St. Mary's.
Indiana is one of my sleeper teams for sure. Not necessarily to go into like maybe an Elite Eight, but Indiana is a team you do not want to see. And I think I've got UCLA, of course, winning the next game against Akron. And that Indiana-UCLA game is no easy feat for UCLA. Poole is going to have a nightmare on his hands when he has a 6'4" point guard that's muscular as hell on the Indiana side that is going to be able to push him around. So that's a tough matchup. Of course, I'm going to assume you have UCLA over Akron as well, Justin?
I do. You're
okay.
right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you would have said Akron over UCLA, I probably would have just turned this podcast off. Now we get to some teams that I think are going to make some noise. I've got Virginia Tech taking down Texas. Texas is wildly underperformed. They're ranked way too high.
Overrated.
Yeah. I have no idea why they're ranked so high. Virginia Tech is a very, very good team, as we saw this past weekend, winning the ACC tournament, which shocked a whole lot of people. It shocked me. I thought Duke was going to handle business, but they did not. Virginia Tech over Texas. Texas is way overrated this year.
Yeah, folks. Sorry, Longhorn fans, but you're going to have a first-round exit because Virginia Tech is going to beat Texas in the opening round, in the opening game, and they're going to advance.
All right, next up we've got Purdue versus Yale. I love Purdue. I've got Purdue going far this year.
Twin Towers, baby.
They've got the Twin Towers. They've got a very dynamic guard play. They've got guards that can shoot. They've got guards that can shoot in big moments. And I know a lot of people hit me up this past weekend saying, "Well, Purdue lost the tournament championship. Purdue lost the tournament championship." Okay, great. Purdue's one of those teams that you do not want to see in a tournament. Okay, we've seen them play every single year at a very high level come March Madness time. We saw them take down Tennessee after being down the entire game and absolutely go berserk in overtime with, 5 or 6 threes. They are a team that is dynamic. They are a team that is big, and I think they not only have size, but they have that speed aspect as well. And when you mix both of those together, it is going to be a very hard out for you. Purdue absolutely dominates Yale.
Yeah, Purdue is my pick, and they're going to dominate them. So, how about Murray State and San Francisco? I really like Murray State this year.
I do too.
Yeah, Murray State's got a really good team down there. And I think that they're going to go in and just dominate San Francisco. I think it'll be a dominating win for them too.
Yeah, I think Murray State comes and makes a statement.
Yeah, I think they make a statement.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look who they have to play next round. Let's be honest. Do any of us on the planet think Kentucky's going to lose to St. Peter's?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
So they're going to be playing Murray State in the second round. And, whew, that's a tough game.
Now,
That's a tough team for Murray State to have to play in the second round.
I do know some people that have Murray State over Kentucky. I won't name names here, but I know you listen to this podcast. So it's going to be an interesting, like I said, Murray State's an interesting team. They're a team that if they get hot at the right time, they remind me a lot of that Nevada team a couple years ago with the twin brothers. Just a team that gets hot at the right time, that has guys that can score, and Murray State has guys that can score. Like Justin just said, Kentucky over St. Peter's, that's no doubt in my mind. Then let's move down to the South bracket. Arizona's going to dominate game one. We don't even have to really discuss that. Arizona is the best team in the Pac-12. Arizona is a very, very dangerous team and a likely contender in my book.
Yeah, I've got Arizona in a win.
Do you think Arizona's a high-ranking team or a high probability to get to a championship?
I mean,
I think they have those aspects.
I don't really like Arizona that much this year, and they haven't impressed me that much this year. I mean, I get it, their record's really good, but I mean, folks, let's be honest. Let's be real right now. I know this man's an Oregon Ducks fan, but the Pac-12 was weak as hell this year. Weak as hell. They had Arizona, USC,
UCLA, USC.
Okay.
Colorado.
Oh my gosh. See, folks, then he's got to shoehorn Colorado in there, who is terrible.
They're not terrible.
Oh God, they didn't even make it in the tournament. If they weren't terrible, they would be in this tournament. There's a reason that Pac-12 only has those guys in here. There's a reason. Is because the only reason they have three teams in.
UCLA, Arizona, and USC are all very good teams.
Oh, yeah, they're good teams.
Also,
but the Pac-12 sucks.
I'm an Oregon Ducks fan. I'm not a Pac-12 fan.
Oregon sucks.
I'm not a Pac-12 fan.
Oh my gosh, folks.
I'm not a Pac-12 fan.
But
I'm not Seth. I'm not you. I don't suck the ACC's wing, and I don't suck the SEC's wing. I'm an Oregon Ducks fan through and through. I don't care about the rest of the conference. I don't care if the rest of the conference dies, lives, eats, breathes. I don't care. Go Ducks all day long. I don't care about my conference.
Okay, well then that's why I don't have high hopes for Arizona. They beat up a terrible division and won. Congratulations. Let's see what you can do against the big boys.
I think you're going to be surprised with Arizona this year, and you're going to have to eat your words here in a couple weeks on the podcast. Anyways, moving down, Seton Hall, TCU. I've got your Horned Frogs, Justin, taking down Seton Hall.
Horned Frogs, yes sir.
Taking down Seton Hall. They played very well against Kansas, and although I don't think Kansas is as good as everybody's making them out to be, TCU is a very feisty team, and they're not going to go away in the first round. They take down Seton Hall. What do you think about your Horned Frogs this year? What is your ceiling? Are they playing Duke for the ACC or for the national championship?
Absolutely not. No way. No. They're going to lose in the second round. All right. They're going to win this round, but they're definitely losing the second round. They don't have the scorers to make it that deep in the tournament, and they definitely don't have the size to make it in that that far in the tournament. So
that was their problem against Kansas the other night. They just didn't have the size to match up with Kansas.
This is a demolition. Like, they completely just killed them.
I mean, I didn't think it was a terrible show up for TCU. I just think TCU, like you said, doesn't have the size to compete with a lot of these bigger teams.
No, I mean, you can see a strict a contrast between you got Kansas to then TCU. There is a pretty big wide gap right there, and TCU just doesn't have the playmakers or the players to go far in this tournament. So I've got them winning here, but folks, I can tell you that's all I have them winning.
All right, let's move down to Houston UAB. Houston is very, 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 very,
my
very,
boy,
very, very,
my
very,
boy
very,
White,
very, very,
White
very,
Junior.
very,
Let's
very,
go,
very,
baby.
Very, 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 very dangerous. Houston is very dangerous. Houston is very dangerous. I will repeat, because for some reason everybody keeps putting no respect on Houston's name. Houston is very dangerous. The demolition that they just put against Memphis, who is a good team, was uncanny. Houston is scary good. They are going to demolish UAB, and they are going to put a hurt on some people in this tournament.
Yeah, Fabian White Jr., baby.
Yeah,
he is the stuff, and he's gonna put on a show.
Yeah, he
in
will.
his first game versus UAB, and Houston's gonna win by a big margin. So we'll see how much of a fight that UAB can put up. But I'm gonna tell you, it'll be over 10 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah,
it'll be over.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past that. All right, now we've got Illinois versus my sister's school. UTC, Chattanooga. Chattanooga snuck through this year. They had an incredible championship win, and then they got the luck of the draw. They got to play Illinois right out of the gate.
And
Joy,
they're going to have a first-round exit right
Joy,
here.
I love you, and I support your school, and I support your mocks, your Sandy mocks, as they call you. But Chattanooga's getting absolutely demolished and embarrassed against Illinois. I mean, some people, I've seen a lot of people around here, picking the upset, Illinois, getting upset by UTC, UTC, but never going to happen.
Coburn might have 30 points and 20 rebounds for his team.
Yeah.
Dude's going to go off. So, sorry, Chattanooga. Congratulations, you made the tournament. But you're gone after this game.
Yeah, that's a tough draw. You not only make the tournament, but then you literally have a first-round exit getting to play Illinois right out of the gate. Next up, we've got a very interesting matchup, Colorado State versus Michigan. Now, Michigan's head coach, of course, has been suspended because of the brawl that happened. But
I think he's back now.
He is back. He's back for the first game of the tournament, and that is one of the biggest reasons that I think that extra motivation is going to push Michigan past in the first round. Although Colorado State is no pushover. Do not get me wrong. They are no pushover. They're a feisty team. Michigan still, I think, has outmanned them, and they're going to outwork them, and they're going to outcoach them now that they have their coach back. So Michigan makes some noise. The 11 seed upsets the 6 seed in Colorado State.
Yeah, I'm going to be really quick here, and I'm going to agree with every word you said, and I'm going to say, yeah, I agree. Michigan's going to win.
All right, and then we got Tennessee versus Longwood. Tennessee's going to dominate. I mean, we don't have to really talk about it.
I'm pretty sure if you watch the SEC championship game, that's all you need. That's all you need to see.
Yeah, Tennessee is a very dangerous team in this tournament as well.
Yeah, they're one of the best teams in the tournament this year. So, for all you that watch the SEC tournament, well, it's going to be way worse than that, of course. And Tennessee's going to demolish them.
Yep, then we got Ohio State versus Loyola Chicago. Listen, I'm going for the upset. Loyola Chicago, they are my tournament dream team. I love Loyola Chicago.
Yes, sir, Sister Jean.
They play.
What up, Sister Jean?
They play their way into your hearts. I'm going Loyola Chicago for the upset against Ohio State. Also, Ohio State has not played well this year. The hype that's still surrounding them, I don't really understand. Loyola Chicago, Sister Jean, they get it done.
You know what I heard? Sister Jean's going to be sitting courtside for this game.
Let's go.
So it's over, Ohio State. Goodbye. Sister Jean's courtside? Oh, heck no. Loyola Chicago is definitely going to win now. So
Sister Jean makes an appearance. Loyola Chicago moves on to the second round. I've got Villanova over
Sister Jean.
I've got Villanova over Delaware. That's a no-brainer, right? So let's move down. Now we're in the last part of our bracket before we move on. Kansas opening up. They're going to win. I mean,
yeah, let's be honest.
We don't have to really dive into that one. Here's where things get very, very interesting in my bracket. Creighton not only is going to beat San Diego State, but Creighton is going to make some noise. Creighton is my sleeper team to go far. The 7-footer is not only athletic, but he can play defense. That's what I love about this kid. He's offensive-minded, he's defensive-minded, and Creighton's got some good guards. They prove that they can take down great teams because Providence is no pushover, and they completely demolished them. So I've got Creighton out the gate demolishing San Diego State and making some noise here in the second round.
I've also got Creighton winning this game. And that's where it stops. So, I won't give up anymore. But Creighton, good job. You win your first game. And then get ready to get back on the bus because you're going home.
All right, Iowa versus Richmond. Now, although Richmond is going to be a tough out for Iowa, Iowa's playing at too high of a level to get pushed out of here too early. Iowa not only wins this game, they probably win it by 10 or 11 points when it's all said and done. Any thoughts on Richmond versus Iowa?
I have one word. Hawkeyes.
Yep, Hawkeyes are going to take it. Providence versus South Dakota State. Providence, a very, very, very underrated team. I think they've got some great guards. If you watched the coach's interview yesterday, they've got the right mindset. I think Providence not only gets past South Dakota State, but is going to make a very tough game for Iowa in the second round. Moving down, we've got LSU versus Iowa State. I'm going Iowa State. LSU just fired their head coach. If you fire your head coach the week before you're going into the NCAA tournament, it's very hard for me to trust you.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I have no clue why in the world that they just, oh, hey, you made it to the tournament. Oh, good, you're fired.
Well, I didn't know if there was allegations.
Well, there is a recruiting allegation from 2018. But it's like, all right, I get it. Fire him after the season. but don't fire him right as you're about to enter in a tournament. Like, that makes no sense. So
That's just it's just Iowa State at that point has the upper hand because they're the ones that have the stability, and we know that teams that come in with stability most likely are going to outweigh the teams that come in with chaos. Wisconsin versus Colgate, Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a very, very good team.
Yeah, Wisconsin's a great team.
Another team that's going to go deep this year.
They're my pick, too. Yep.
USC versus Miami. This is a great first-round matchup. I'm going to go Miami just for what I saw in this past week's tournament. Miami can play. Their speed is what really threw Duke out of there and threw Duke off. But Miami is a team that can straight up ball, and I like their speed against USC's size.
Yeah, I like Miami, too, in this game. I think they're going to be... They have a lot quicker guys, faster guys, and I think they're going to do really well in their first game.
All right, let's go to the round of 32, and these will start.
Hold on, we got Auburn left, man.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, skip Auburn and Jacksonville State?
Yeah, Auburn wins.
What if I was going with Jacksonville State?
You better not be going with Jacksonville State.
I mean, I'm not, but what if I was? You never know.
Auburn's got arguably a top 3 player in the country. Auburn wins that game. All right, now let's go to our matchups. I've got Gonzaga versus Memphis. Which is going to be a very interesting matchup. You've got Gonzaga versus Memphis as well, I'm pretty sure. So, I mean, is there any outliers in the second round that you see as being a tough game or being a major upset? I mean, I think we both agree that Gonzaga's moving forward. I think we both agree Texas Tech and Duke are moving on.
We do not agree.
You do not?
We do not agree. Now, I do agree Gonzaga, 100%.
Okay.
All right, who do you got for the Uconn and Arkansas game?
I've got Arkansas moving forward.
Okay,
even
I've got Uconn.
That's a toss-up for me.
I've got Uconn beating Arkansas, but then here's where we have some big differences.
Oh, goodness. You're not calling Texas Tech out in the second, right?
Bye-bye, Texas Tech. Bye-bye, Raiders.
To who?
We'll see you next year.
To who?
Alabama, baby. We roll Tide. We rolling on, all right? Alabama knocks off Texas Tech and advances to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I think Texas Tech is way too damn good this year for them to go out. I don't see Bama being that good this year.
Bye-bye, Red Raiders.
So I've got Texas Tech versus Duke.
I do have Duke, yep.
I'm assuming you have Duke. Yep. All right, so let's move on. I've got Baylor over Marquette. I'm assuming you probably have Baylor over North Carolina. Please, God, tell me you don't have North Carolina over Baylor.
North Carolina puts up the upset, and they advance over the number 1 seed. Bye-bye, Baylor Bears. See you next year.
You've done a lot.
It's Tar Heel time.
You've done a lot of yelling this podcast.
I mean, I'm excited because Baylor's going to be out.
North Carolina.
Texas Tech's going to be out. Man.
Well, now we know why brackets aren't perfect, because what the hell are you talking about right now? Baylor beats Marquette. That's my pick. Then I've got Indiana versus UCLA. I'm pretty sure we have that exact same matchup. I think UCLA gets the job done.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Even though they get it done, this is no easy game for UCLA. This is probably a last-second winning shot, maybe by Poole or somebody else in UCLA, but this is not a fun game for UCLA to play in. Virginia Tech versus Purdue. I'm pretty sure we both have that same matchup. Purdue. Yeah. Purdue's too good this year.
They got the Twin Towers, baby. You can't stop them.
They're too good.
And that, man, Williams coming off the bench. He might be the best big man passer in college.
He is. Oh, yeah.
Dude's ridiculous.
His behind-the-back passes,
It's got to be, it's like unfair. They've got a 7'3" guy coming in to start, and then, hey, yeah, now you have to contend with Shaq at the bench. Like, it's like,
I heard the dude bench press is like 400 something.
Yeah, dude, he's strong as hell.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of unfair, but yeah, I definitely got Purdue.
All right, then we've got Murray State versus Kentucky. I'm going upset here. I've got Murray State moving forward.
And this man said I was smoking crack cocaine, folks.
I don't like Kentucky this year.
Hell no. Murray State is not beating Kentucky. I can assure you of that, all right? I mean, hey, anything can happen, but...
Listen, I told you, I've got to pick my upset somewhere, right?
But I marked it down. My upset was North Carolina over Baylor.
Yeah. So we're just flip-flopping.
Yeah,
you have North Carolina over Baylor.
I'm going Kentucky over Murray State.
I've got Murray State over Kentucky. They both have dynamic guards. The problem is Kentucky's not played too consistent for me this year, where Murray State has played very consistent. That's where I get that upset. Now I've got Arizona versus TCU. This is an Arizona walk-away. They should dominate this game pretty quick.
Bye-bye, Horned
Houston
Frogs,
versus Illinois is going to be a very tough matchup, but I've got Houston moving forward.
Yeah.
Illinois has been so inconsistent this year.
I like Houston, but I'm going with Illinois.
Okay.
I think they move on, and they're going to play Arizona in the Sweet 16.
Well, Illinois has the best big man in the entire
Sweet
country.
16.
So Illinois' got the best big man in the country. If Houston can keep the ball out of the post and can keep the guards having to play high defense, I think that's where Illinois is going to be in some trouble there. But that's going to be one of the better games in the second round, if not the best game in the second round, that Houston-Illinois game. All right, we've got Michigan versus Tennessee. Like Justin said, if you saw Tennessee play in the SEC tournament,
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
If you watched them in the SEC championship game, then you definitely have them beating Michigan.
Yeah, I've got Tennessee over Michigan, and I think it's probably
They're faster, bigger, stronger, quicker. Like, do I need to say anything else? Tennessee, win.
All right,
Mark it down.
Loyola, Chicago. They don't get the dream upset done. They can't take down Villanova.
Sorry, Sister Jean. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
we get a rematch.
You guys are going home.
We get a rematch of Tennessee versus Villanova in the next round, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, then we've got Kansas versus Creighton. I've got Creighton, folks. Okay. I'm telling you, Creighton is my sleeper team this year.
And he said me picking North Carolina over Baylor.
Creighton is my sleeper team this year. There's always a 9 or an 8 seed that goes into the Elite 8. Creighton is that team for me.
I can assure you ain't gonna be them, but
Creighton's my team this year.
I got Kansas. Easy win for them. They're gonna roll over Creighton.
No way, son.
It's over.
No way. Go Creighton. Are they the Blue Jays? What are they?
I think they're the Blue Jays.
Go Creighton Blue Jays. All right, now we've got another very fun matchup. Iowa versus Providence. I think I'm going to go Providence.
I think this is an easy pick.
You think who?
Iowa. Hands down. Not even close. Iowa blows out Providence in this game. I'm going to go with Iowa.
I just don't know. I like Providence this year. I'm going to go Providence.
Providence is good, but like I said, Iowa, man, if you saw them in the Big Ten championship game, you know how good they are. They have shooters all around the floor, and then they have guys that are in the interior that can lock stuff down. So I'm telling you, Iowa's going to go far in this tournament, and I have them winning over Mr. Providence.
No, I've got Providence winning. This is going to be a fun game, though. All right, I've got Iowa State versus Wisconsin. Wisconsin.
Yeah, I've got the Badgers.
Wisconsin's got the Big Ten Player of the Year. They are very, very, very talented at the guard position. Miami versus Auburn. This is going to be another fun game. I still think Auburn gets it done, though. Too much firepower on the offensive side of the basketball for me.
Auburn wins by 15-plus points.
All right, well, we're going big or going home. All right, let's move on to the Sweet 16.
That's all we do, baby. Go big or go home. That's all we do.
Let's move on to the Sweet 16. I've got Gonzaga versus Arkansas. I've got Gonzaga winning this game.
Well, I've got Gonzaga versus Uconn, but I have Gonzaga winning.
Result's still the same. Gonzaga is just too good. Chet Holmgren, Timmy. That dynamic duo is going to be hard in this tournament. Then I've got personally Texas Tech versus Duke in this next round, and I've got the Red Raiders moving on. I like Texas Tech this year.
This guy is smoking crack cocaine. Hell no, ain't no way is Duke losing in the Sweet 16. They're moving on. I have them facing Alabama, and it's going to be an Elite 8.
Well, all right. It's going to be an interesting matchup. All right, I've got Baylor versus UCLA. I know you have Baylor being upset, so you have North Carolina versus UCLA.
Yep.
Either way, I'm taking Baylor. I think Baylor's too good of a team. They're not losing in the Sweet 16. They topple over UCLA and move on to the Elite 8.
Tar Heels
again
are moving on. We're going to the next round, folks. Elite 8 for the good old North Carolina Tar Heels. They're gonna beat UCLA, and they're moving on. And as you can, folks, my co-host is looking at me with a blank stare on his face.
That is okay. Whatever. That is the dumbest. I can't even with you sometimes.
They're bigger. They're bigger than UCLA. They're just gonna pound them in the paint over and over and over again. I'm calling it. North Carolina beats UCLA to move to the Elite 8.
Either way, we don't have... either way, I've got Baylor moving on. Neither of us have UCLA moving on. I'm still mind-blown that North Carolina's in your Elite 8, but we'll have to talk about that off microphone because... Jeez Louise. All right, now I've got Purdue versus Murray State and or Purdue versus Kentucky. I think in your bracket, I've got Purdue. Purdue's too good.
Yeah, I've got Purdue beating Kentucky, too.
They're too big, too strong. Purdue's wildly underrated. If you have not watched them this year, I encourage you to look them up because it will shock you. I've got Arizona versus Houston. A great matchup. The whole bottom half of the bracket's very awesome. I've got Arizona. Arizona is one of my favorites coming out of the Pac-12. I don't understand why they get no love on Justin's side, but I love Arizona this year. I think they beat Houston and move on.
Man, as much as I hate the Pac-12 with every passion of my being, and yes, I hate every single person, like every single team in the Big 12. I hate you all. But
in the
I have to
Pac-12?
go Pac-12. Yeah, sorry, Pac-12. I'm gonna go with Arizona. Unfortunately, they're just a better team, so I'm just gonna go with Arizona.
All right, and then we've got Tennessee versus Villanova, the rematch, and sad to say, the result's still the same. Villanova takes down Tennessee for me. Tennessee, this is what they do. Tennessee is a good enough team to get as far as probably the Final Four or even the championship, and they always suck it up in these kind of rounds. And Villanova's too hard of a matchup for them. Tennessee's not as good of coached, and Tennessee's just wildly inconsistent. We've seen that all year long. And I think they lose again to Villanova.
Good old Rocky Top. Hey! Rocky Top, Tennessee.
All right, so you've got Tennessee
moving on, baby. Tennessee's going.
You say word?
I got to rep my state, baby. I got to rep them. I mean, I'm a Duke fan through and through first.
Hell
all right?
no.
But I gotta support my team. I gotta support the state I live in.
No.
And Tennessee
No, you don't.
is the state I live in.
No, you
and
don't.
they're moving on
That's
to
not
the
true.
Elite Eight.
You do not
Bye-bye
have-
Villanova.
no. You do
Bye-bye
not-
Wildcats.
have
We'll
to
see. We'll see you
no.
next year. You can be with Kentucky. You can be with Baylor. We'll see y'all next year. All right. You better try next year.
First off, let's clear the record. You do not have to support the team because you just live in the state of Tennessee. I absolutely hate the Tennessee Vols. So.
Hey, I'm supporting them, baby, and I think they're gonna move on.
Nope, not support. No, that's not true. All right, I've got a rematch here. Creighton versus Providence. Now, this is not going to happen in a lot of people's brackets, but I have the rematch happening, and I have the same result. Creighton takes down Providence to move on to the Elite Eight.
Okay, folks.
This is my upset bracket. I told you.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, let's just get back to reality. So I'll bring us back. Yeah, it's going to be Kansas and Iowa in that round. And we'll see you later, Kansas. Because Iowa's moving on to the Elite Eight.
Listen, there's still a lot of yelling on this podcast.
Oh, we yelling. We like it.
All right, we've got Wisconsin versus Auburn at the very bottom. I've got Wisconsin moving on.
I've got Auburn moving on.
I think this is a toss-up game for a lot of people. It's 50-50 for me.
Two really good teams, but I think Auburn moves on.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the Elite Eight. I've got Gonzaga versus Texas Tech, and I've got Gonzaga moving on.
Well, I've got Duke and Gonzaga, and of course, my Duke Blue Devils reign again, and they keep moving on. They're going to the Final Four.
Oh, gosh. All right, I've got Baylor versus Purdue, and I've got Purdue moving on. Purdue, like I said, is one of my favorite teams all year.
I've got Purdue and North Carolina.
I swear to God.
And North Carolina?
No, they're not.
You're going home.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Purdue, you win. You advance. They're going to the Final Four. We'll see you next year, Tar Heels.
All right, I've got Arizona versus Villanova in the South bracket. I've got Arizona moving on. I love Arizona this year. I keep saying it. I'm going to continue to say it. Arizona is a scary, scary team.
I have Arizona and Tennessee, and we can say, good old Rocky Top. Hey, Rocky Top, Tennessee. We're going to the Final Four.
What's
Tennessee
this wee thing again?
advances to the Final Four. I repping my, I already said I'm repping my state. I'm repping Tennessee.
Okay.
Tennessee's moving on.
No.
They're going to the Final Four this year.
Okay. Well,
It's your year, Tennessee. Well,
it's your year to lose.
until you lose.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is your year to make it to the Final Four for sure.
I've got Creighton at least versus Wisconsin, and I've got Wisconsin moving on. This is where Creighton's beautiful run to the Elite Eight comes to a standstill, comes to a halt. It was fun while it lasted, Blue Jays, but Wisconsin moving on.
So I have Iowa and I have Auburn. Who do you think I'm going with?
Well, you have Iowa basically winning the whole damn thing, so I'm assuming you're moving on with the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Bye-bye, Hawkeyes. It's time for you to go home. Auburn advances to the Final Four.
All right, so now we are at the Final Four. I've got Gonzaga versus Purdue. I've got Gonzaga moving on.
All right.
I think Gonzaga, I've got them moving on.
Well, I have Duke and Purdue, and I'm here to tell you Duke is going to the national championship, folks.
Okay.
Duke's going. All right, this is their year. They're going. So just get over it. Let's go, Duke.
All right, now at the bottom, who will Gonzaga be facing and or who will Duke be facing? Arizona versus Wisconsin. 1-3 versus 1-3. I've got Arizona moving forward. I've got Gonzaga versus Arizona in my championship game.
You'll never guess what I got.
Oh, let me guess. Auburn.
So I've got Tennessee and Auburn in the Final Four, right?
Yeah.
Good old Rocky Top.
Oh,
hey,
dear God.
Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Okay.
We're going to the finals. So now it's going to be my Duke Blue Devils versus the Tennessee Vols in the national championship.
Well, that would make or break yours and Seth's friendship, that's for sure. Seth's basically our brother, and Seth's a diehard Tennessee fan. Justin's a diehard Duke fan.
I hate to break it to him. There's nothing Tennessee can do, all right? Let's be honest.
Well, hey, listen, we're at the end of the ropes here, okay? Here we go. I'm assuming you already told me even 5 seconds in, even though I told you not to. I've got Gonzaga winning. Timmy is too much to handle. Chet Holmgren is too much to handle. 67-65. Gonzaga beats Arizona in an absolute classic thriller for the ages. That's my pick. There it is. Locked in. My 2022 NCAA Tournament Championship.
Good old Rocky Top. Hey, Rocky Top, Tennessee. Tennessee, you are going home because Duke is winning it all this year. And I got Duke as my 2022 national champions.
Well, here's the deal. It would be a beautiful story to see Coach K ride off into the sunset, have a national championship won on his behalf. But I don't know. This is going to be, like I've said 1,000 times, this is one of the hardest tournaments that I think is out there to judge. I think this is one of the hardest tournaments for even the experts to talk about, because there are 14 to 15 teams that can go get it done at any given night. So that's my championship. The number one overall, Gonzaga takes down Arizona in an absolute thriller. Justin's taking Duke over Tennessee, which would be an absolute great game as well. But there it is. Our 2022 brackets are locked in. They will be posted on TLR Podcast 615 social media. Make sure you send yours in at TLR Podcast 615.
Yeah, come on, guys, play.
On all the social media. That's it. Let's get out of here, everybody. Once again, I'm Jacob Courtwright.
And I am Justin Courtwright.
And this is The Locker Room.